Hi, Meg here from I Teach Stamping, and today I'm going to show you how you can make a great little mini scrapbook using the Simply Scent kit. Now I'm going to be using the Everyday Elegance kit, and this one right now by far is my favorite, and probably the reason it's my favorite is because you can get it free with your qualifying celebration order between now and the end of March of 2012. Okay, so when you get this kit, you're going to have enough to make 4 of the blue cards and 4 of the red cards, and on the inside it's going to have the instructions on how you put them together. But we're going to make this into something completely different. So I'm going to start with 3 cards. You get 8 in a pack, so you can make 2 in a little number of times this project, or you can make it smaller and just do 2 cards per little packet that you put together, and that way you can get 4 out of a package. But I'm going to be making mine with 3. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got 2 of the Baja Breeze cards and 1 of the Cherry Cobbler cards. And whenever you first get them, all these little holes will be filled in with cardstock. So just take your stylus from your Simply Scored tool and go ahead and poke all those out. Alright, then what we're going to do is go ahead and start with cutting the card in half. So we're going to cut it at 4 1/4 inches. And I think it's easier just to start with it like this. Now I'm using the tabletop cutter from Stampin' because I can cut through up to 3 layers of cardstock at once. Then we're going to trim this down some more. So you should have the stripes. These were originally the inside of the card. We're going to keep those stripes. So I'm going to cut this down to 4 inches. And then turn it, and I'm going to cut it down to 5 1/4 inches. So we've got that, and then we're going to turn to these strips right here. Now with the punched edge at the 3 1/8 inch mark, you're going to punch again, or cut again. Now it doesn't have to be exactly 3 1/8, so don't stress over that, okay? So we're going to go ahead and cut, and then that's going to give me 3 of those pieces, 3 of these pieces, and 3 of these pieces. So the only scrap or trash that we're not utilizing is this right here. So this is definitely a great project where there's no waste. So I'm going to remove my paper trimmer. So I'm going to start with these 3 pieces right here. I've got 2 pieces of Cherry Cobbler that are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches that I'm going to put the Baja Breeze ones onto. Now I've got a piece of Baja Breeze that's also 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to put the Cherry Cobbler one on there. Now we're going to turn to our envelopes, because in these kits you'll also receive envelopes for each of the cards. So these are just a standard size envelope, and I'm going to take a circle punch. It really doesn't matter what size circle you're using, but I'm using the 1 3/8 inch circle punch. And I'm going to do it not quite halfway on all 3 of these. So now we're going to go through and attach our envelopes. So I've put extra adhesive on what we refer to in our household is the lickable part, and I'm just going to layer this one on top of this flap, so all the envelopes are facing the same direction, and do the same thing on this edge as well. And then we're going to start putting on our other pieces. So now we're going to turn to these pieces right here. If we hadn't have trimmed it down, see how it just gets lost? That beautiful trim work gets lost on that Whisper White envelope. So that's why we cut this part off. So we're actually going to start with this one right here. And I'm going to put it at the bottom, leaving about 1/8 of an inch at the top, the bottom, and then the bottom of the envelope. Then I'm going to do the Baja Breeze, and you can either have the checkerboard or the stripes showing. I'm going to do the stripes this time. And the other one at the bottom. Envelope. Okay, then I'm going to go through. Now see how you really see that red show through? And I'm going to line it up to where it meets both edges there. Leaves a little bit of red at the bottom, but doesn't cover up this little half circle that we punched. I'm going to do the same thing over here and over here. Okay. And then each of our cards will simply tuck inside the envelope. And then we're ready to do our stamping. So I'm going to use from the Fabulous Phrases stamp set, the Fabulous Friends Forever words, and I'm going to start with the Fabulous, and I'm using my Stamp-A-Majig, and I'm using Baja Breeze Ink, and I'm doing it on one of the red label sheets. So this is also going to come in your Simply Scent kit. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and do Friend. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to do Forever. And that also in the Baja Breeze on one of the red labels. Then I'm going to do the friend in Cherry Cobbler ink on the Baja Breeze label. And then there's one more thing we need to do before we finish this project. We need to also cover up the lickable part on this top envelope. So I've got a scratch piece of Baja Breeze, and I'm just going to trace this envelope flap with a pencil. And then take my scissors and cut it out. So I'm just going to take this and put this right onto that flap. And now it doesn't look like just an envelope flap. Okay, so then we're ready to put our labels on. So I'm going to do the friend in the middle. And the fabulous for the top card. And the forever at the bottom. Whoops. And then all we do is fold in both the sides and fold it over. And then we're going to take a piece of the Baja Breeze seam binding and tie a pretty bow around it. So one of the questions I get asked is, okay, now I've got this great project, what can I possibly use it for? So I'm going to give you kind of a little bit different way to do it. Of course, you can use it as a mini scrapbook and put pictures on the front and the back of these little tags here, and you can punch a hole at the top and then hang a ribbon and hang it up on the wall. But I'll tell you kind of a different way to use it. So my sister makes an incredible lasagna, and people ask her all the time for the recipe, and she was tired of just writing it out and giving it on a card. And so we came up with a great idea that we would she would make the lasagna. I would get to eat it. That was actually the best part. But she would make the lasagna, and we took a picture. And so on this top one, we put a picture of the lasagna with a picture of my sister holding the lasagna. Okay, then for the next card, she put all the ingredients and everything you need to make it. And then the third one was the baking instructions and, you know, mixing it all up and the steps to completing the recipe. So it's just a little bit different way. So when she gave it to someone, she was really giving them a gift and not just, oh, here's the recipe card. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video tutorial teaching you how to use the Everyday Elegance Simply Scent Kit to make a great little mini scrapbook or recipe book. To learn more about rubber stamping for card making and scrapbooking, be sure to visit www.iteachstamping.com. And remember, I don't just sell rubber stamps, I teach you how to use them. Have a great day.